Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be more relevant or more specific to the Salesforce people because this video will be on the Salesforce development and the Salesforce technology. So it will be is more useful for the Salesforce developer or the one who are looking for to start their career into the Salesforce. So I got a request from many people to start a video on a LWC, so Lightning Web Component. I thought of starting my LWC series soon, so that's the plan. The plan is to start the LWC development right from the beginning, from the scratch, from the very basic, and then we'll go in advance later on. So that's the plan, and let's see how it goes. I'll try to cover as many topics I can, and what are the important topics to know in the sales in LWC, so I'll try to cover that. And in between also I'll be give some idea regarding the interview questions that are covering on LWC, so I'll be covering those also. When I cover those particular topic, I'll like let you know like these are the important questions and you might expect to get those questions in interview for on regarding the LWC. So that's how it will go. But today's video will be very much initial part of it, initial development. I'll be starting from the installation and installation of the tools, the prerequisite that we required before we go into the LWC development. So as everyone know, like we have a many editor tool for developers to write a code. Out of them will be picking up the most strong and the most useful tool, that is a Visual Studio Code. In today's video I'll be capturing how to download from where to download the Visual Studio Code and the installation and the prerequisite that we need before we start our first LWC component. And later on we'll write our first LWC component, hello world. So that will be achievement for us to write a first hello world component for the ones who are very much beginning of LWC. So that really gonna help you guys. So let's begin. And my plan is to start like from basic, and then I'll go through point by point later on in my upcoming videos, and I'll try to cover as much as I can. And at the same time I will also dig into or open the Salesforce developer my org and give you the live example. So that's really gonna help you to see the live demo example also, and at the same time you can also practice at your own end. So if you have any suggestions or if you have any feedback, do let me know in a comment so that in my upcoming videos I will work on that. Okay, so let's begin with the today's topic. It's about the installation of Visual Studio Code and the prerequisite that we need to do after the installations, so that we are good to write our first LWC component. So let's start. I'll be sharing my screen, my desktop screen, and we'll do the initial setup, Visual Studio Code setup, and then the other prerequisite that we should have the Salesforce CLI and all, definitely to deploy or retrieve the LWC components or to write any Salesforce commands. So those are the prerequisites. I'll give you the complete guide, like from where you can download and how you can do those setup. So let's start with the initial setups, and then we'll create our first LWC component. So first is to definitely we'll be using a Visual Studio Code here. So first step is to download the Visual Studio and then the installation, and then we'll see like what all extension we need for executing the Salesforce command, and why we will need a Salesforce CLI, and what are the other the Visual Studio Code extension that will be requiring it. So at a very first step we have to go to code.visualstudio.com. I'll be also going, and you can also do it from your end. So let's go to Chrome browser or any other browser you have. Go to code.visualstudiocode.com, and then if you have a Windows, then you can do the download, or if you have a Mac, look for the Mac edition and you can do the download. So since I have the download, I have a Windows, so I'll be download from Windows. Most probably this particular my machine will be having it, but yeah, I'll just show the steps at high level so that it will be very much clear for you. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, my download begins. Definitely this machine will have a Visual Studio Code install in it, but yeah, let's see. Okay, I accept the agreement. Basic installation step that we have to do for each software. Just perform and then you can do install. We are good to go once its installation is done. So let's complete the installation. You can do at the same time along with me. Basically we have the many other editors, but the strong editor that usually preferred is a Visual Studio Code editor, and it's run almost all the programming language like C, C++, Java, Python, .NET, almost all the programming language this editor support. So we will be doing for Salesforce definitely, and once it's installed, once it's download, you have to install. Once it's downloaded, we will be creating our very first project, and we will be synchronizing, or I can say we will be authorizing our Salesforce developer org with the Visual Studio. One more thing I need to add in this prerequisite is that before you begin, you should have your let me write a point here, should have your developer org credential ready. For sure you should have your own developer org. For those who are very new, can go to developer.salesforce.com and do sign up with your personal Gmail ID, and your developer org will be ready. So usually the developer org will be have the URL login.salesforce.com. This is the developer org URL. Okay, so make sure I'm not going to show that step because it's a very much basic, and I believe if you are on this video, then you might be a Salesforce developer, junior developer, so you know how to create your Salesforce developer org. So that's why I'm not going into that initial step. I'll be starting from Visual Studio Code setup. We are good, we have done download, we have done the installation. Now let's start our first project. So again in Visual Studio Code, while we are retrieving our org, or while we are syncing our Salesforce developer org, we have a two option to do. I'll show the both the options so that it will be helpful for you to practice in both the way. Further step, developer Salesforce, download a Visual Studio Code that we have done, install VS Code that we have done. Now we have to go and install the extension in Visual Studio Code, and that is called the Salesforce CLI extension. So what you have to do, we have to go open the Salesforce, we have to open Visual Studio Code, and here we have an icon called extension. Just click here and search for Salesforce CLI. Okay, soon you search, since it's already installed in my machine, still like if you want to, I'll perform one step here. Search for Salesforce CLI, go to Salesforce CLI integration and click on install step. Okay, yeah, I believe that installation is done in your Visual Studio. Let's go to another step. The other prerequisite like to begin with is to have the Salesforce command line tool, Salesforce CLI, to be installed in your machine. So we need a two CLI here. One Salesforce CLI with the Visual Studio Code, another is Salesforce CLI in our machine. In the program files, that also we need this particular tool to be installed. So it's very easy. Let's do that step. Before we begin, go here, search for Salesforce CLI. You will be redirect to the salesforce.com page. Just open that URL and download it for your Windows. If you are looking for Windows, Mac, whatever, we have those options. Just download it. I believe I have in machine, but yeah, I'll do for you. I have in a machine. Still, let me run the exe file. Once the download is done, run the exe file and get it installed. Okay, next I'll be installing it in a Salesforce program file SF folder. So same way, just install wherever you are looking for. Let's the installation complete, and then we'll proceed further. Okay, my installation is complete. Now if I want to verify, what I'll do, I'll go, I know I have done in C drive program file, and within that I have SF folder. So if you want, just make sure that it's installed correctly. Yep, I have. And what you have to do next is, definitely whenever you install like Java, Salesforce CLI, or any other tool that you have to run on a command prompt, or you have to run through commands that requires environment variable to set. So definitely our next step is to set an environment variable. So what you will do, I'll go to system environment variable properties in control panel. I'll click on environment variable. I'll make sure that, I believe it will be in my machine, but yeah, make sure that you add one more path here, and the URL path URL should be till bin. Whenever you do, if you do for the Java or any other, make sure that it should be till bin. Okay, so bin folder should be also there in that particular path. So copy this, create one. I'll be editing here only since I already have. That's it. Do okay, we are good. Just to make sure that we don't get any problem in our Visual Studio, you can restart your Visual Studio once. So let's reopen again Visual Studio, so that our new settings can be reflecting it. So that's why I restart my Visual Studio. So it's always a good practice, if you do an installation or something, make sure that you restart your Visual Studio. Okay, so now that's good. Okay, now let's begin our first project. And to begin a first project, I'll show the step by step how to do it and how to sync or authorize our Salesforce developer org. Very basic, very first step, you have to do Ctrl+Shift+P, or else you can search it for here also, create SFDX project. Okay, so it's always a good practice to use Ctrl+Shift+P show all command. It's already given here on Visual Studio. So just do that, follow the step, Ctrl+Shift+P. If you are not, since I have already used it, that's why it's showing in my recently used list. But if not, just search for SFDX create project. Okay, now if you see the SFDX, whatever the command that start with the SFDX, that are supported by Salesforce command line tool. So it's because we have installed all the Salesforce CLI in our Visual Studio. That's why we are getting this option. If you don't install those extension, you will not get this option. So like it's clear, like why we are getting those options. And the Salesforce command always start with the SFDX. Okay, so now we have a two option. You can see the two option on the screen. One is SFDX create project, and one is SFDX create project with manifest. Okay, so I'll show you the both option. It's almost same. The minor differences is there between them, and I will create one LWC component without manifest one. Okay, so I usually do that. I have a practice to do that, but I'll show the difference between them. Let me create one with the Salesforce project without manifest for you. Okay, I'll click on this. Then you have to select standard, enter project name, SFDC. You can give any, the one that is readable and understandable to you. I'll use SFDC without manifest for my understanding. Enter. Now you have to select a path or a folder where your local code will be stored in your file explorer. So you have to create one folder, or you have to select one folder where you have to store your local code. So what I'll do, I'll create one from starting. Let me create new LWC practice series 1. Okay, and within that let me create code without manifest, LWC code without manifest. Okay, so this is for my understanding purpose. You can give any name, no issue at all. Create project. So you will see it will open a new workspace for you, and that a particular file explorer name will be shown here, SFDC without manifest, since I've given that. So as of now we are good. We have selected the local path or the where you have to store your code. So we are good so far, but as you see, we have not authorized or not connected to our Salesforce developer org yet. Have we done any step? No, not yet. We have just create the temporary folder structure. Since we use SFDS create project and create this path, we'll got our folder structure. See, if you see, you can see force app. Within that you can see application, aura, classes, flexi pages, but those are empty. Correct? Why? Because we have not authorized our org, or we have not synced our any of the org with this. So let's begin the first to authorize our org. And for that what you have to do, ideally you can do it from here also, but I believe like there is some issue with the VS Code latest version of Salesforce CLI. That's why it's causing issue for many people, but you can try from your end for the first. If not, then we'll go for another option. So if you want to authorize an org, just click no default org set, left hand side bottom, or search for SFDX authorize an org command in here in command tool. Okay, and then select SFDX authorize an org, definitely which you are looking for. If you are synchronizing your developer org, it will be login.salesforce.com, and if you are syncing your sandboxes, it will be test.salesforce.com if you are working on a project. So for us, it's a login.salesforce.com. Enter the org alias. Just give a name that again that is good for you. I'll give one practice org 1 for me. But for example, if you are working on a project and you have a different sandboxes, so if it's a dev sandboxes, just give dev sandbox name. If it's a QA, give the QA name. So that's how you can differentiate among the different orgs that you are working on a VS Code. Okay, so for now I have given a practice org 1. Just enter the alias and then click on enter. Let's see if this gets success or not. Okay, it worked for me. Practice underscore org 101 @gmail.com, and this will be my password. Yep. So you have to okay, so you have to log in. If you get any identity, just do that. Okay, so once authorization is successful, go back to your Visual Studio. It says authorize an org run successful. Okay, we are good with now. So okay, so this is what we have done without a manifest. Same thing you have to do with manifest. I'll show you. I already have it. Same thing you have to do, Control Shift P, create with manifest. This time you have to select create with manifest, select standard, and then enter your project name. I'll just do one, select your local folder, and then if you don't want to do this default org, don't set it for now, but try to understand what is the difference between manifest and without manifest. So if you see my this Visual Studio, the practice org and SFDC without a manifest, I'll show you. My practice org is with the manifest. Okay, I created this particular folder with create this project with manifest, and I created this project without a manifest. If you see in a hierarchy, we have everything same. If I open the force of, everything is same, but you will see there is an additional folder called manifest. Do we have that manifest here? No. What's the difference between? We have a package XML here, correct? Do we have a package XML here? No. So for with manifest file, like if you want to retrieve or deploy a component, you can use a package XML in your Visual Studio Code. And for without manifest, if you don't have a package XML, you have to use a terminal and you have to use the Salesforce CLI, the Salesforce command, to deploy or retrieve your component. Okay, so I'll be doing this practice without manifest, because everyone know to do with manifest. Like you can add your component name in package XML, right click, and then you can do the retrieve from your org. So it's quite easy to do with manifest. but without manifest I'll show you like how you can do it. Okay, here also it's a easy only, but yeah, I'll show you like if you are not aware of. So this is how we are done with the Visual Studio. We have done with the download, we are done with the installation, and then the what are the prerequisites, the Salesforce CLI installation, setting the environment path variable, then we created a project in Visual Studio, and then we authorize or set our default org. Okay, so we are good, and we are good to create our first LWC component. We'll be calling it as a hello world for now, for today, so that it won't be overload to you. Okay, so very simple. First, Control Shift P again. Okay, let me show it again. So what you have to do, Control Shift P, search for LWC. See, you have an option SFDA, create lightning web component. Just click on that, enter desired file name. I will type hello world here since this is a first component. Hierarchy, whatever the default one, force app / main default LWC, select that, it will create. Yeah, see, within the force app, within the LWC hello world, we have seen our first hello world component to be created. Now what you will do, what all file will see, we'll see the HTML file. The whatever the basic will be, I'll be covering in the next video, like why LWC, what LWC, what are the files we have in LWC, why, what are those. I'll be covering everything in the next video. For today, just go through it, just do whatever follow whatever I'm saying it for now. Okay, so we got a three file here, hello world.html, one with HTML, one with JS, and another is a meta XML file. So let's begin. It will be very basic, not much here. Just I'll be showing you hello world, how to create and deploy it. Yeah, okay, save. So whenever you do some changes within a Visual Studio Code and do Control S, so these changes are saving locally in your local folder, right? It's not going, those changes are not deployed to the Salesforce org yet. So once you save it in your local folder, in a local hierarchy, basically in your local Visual Studio Code, you need to deploy those components to the Salesforce server or your Salesforce developer org basically. So hello world, let me do this. Let me for now ignore what I'm doing, is expose true and all. If you know this, then good, otherwise just ignore for now. And definitely I'll need a targets here, targets, Salesforce targets, close targets. Okay, so yeah, like most of them have already worked on it, might be aware like we need to have a target here. Okay, so yeah, as of now just ignore what I have written in targets. If you are aware, then well and good, otherwise just ignore. I'll be covering those in my later videos, the next upcoming video. So far I have created what I have done, have just printed hello world in my HTML, and I have exposed this LWC so that it can be available on a record page. For that I have given as a is expose, I have set this is expose property as a true, and I have given a target as a lightning record page. Okay, so as of now all my changes in my local folder, nothing is committed yet, nothing is deployed yet to the Salesforce org, to the developer org. If you want, let's verify. I will open login.salesforce.com. let me log into my org first. We'll see. Practice _ org 101@gmail.com d1 Okay, I logged into my developer org. We'll look for lightning component. Okay, let's see whether my hello world LWC component is present in my org or not. Okay, let me go to setup. I'll go for setup, then I'll go for lightning component. Let me open this. No, is there? No. Let me find out whether I have it. No. Why? Because it's still in my local Visual Studio Code, right? It's still in my local machine. I've not committed yet. So what we need to do, we need to commit this to the practice org. So what you can do, you can click here, deploy this source to org, or you can use sfdx command to deploy this to your org. So for now, for today, I'll be using this. Okay, from next video onwards, I'll be showing how to write sfdx command to retrieve to deploy the component. Okay, just for now today, keep it simple. I'm going here and doing deploy this source to org. Okay, what it says, lightning record page. What's wrong? Targets, my bad. Okay, let deploy this source to org. Okay, lightning ligst ning underscore. Okay, let's deploy this LWC component to org. Okay, let's go, click here, let's find out whether it's deployed. Yep, we got our first LWC component created on our org. Now let's go and add this in our first lightning record page on account record. Okay, so that we can see our hello world, right? Go to sales org, click on account. Okay, you can do it from here or you can do it from setup, or whatever the best that's filled for you. That's fine, that's absolutely fine. Click on edit page. I do have a habit of doing in this way, so that's why. Hello world, just drag. For now, just keep it anywhere, that's fine. Save. Don't worry, this is our first component. Whatever we have done, it's good only. Yep, you can see. Our next video, definitely it will be more interactive, like we'll work on a UI also, but for the first video it's well and good, looking good for us. So that's it for this video. I think we are good for this. In upcoming video I'll be covering very much basic again, like introduction to LWC and why LWC, how it's different from Aura. Like most of them know, like before LWC there was a Aura, so we'll be discussing on then, and then we'll be covering the further topic. Okay, thank you so much for this particular video. If you guys have any suggestions, feedback, do let me know in a comment, or if you're looking for very much specific topic on a LWC or anything, just let me know. We'll try to cover as much as I can. Okay, thank you, bye, have a nice day.